Welcome back to the Nosebleed Seats. I'm the mad conservative crime fighter. Chris Lee is on assignment. My guest at this time, the promoter of Heartland Championship Wrestling, Big Will Dixon. We're all the way down here in Anna, Illinois, of all places. Well, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
Tell us about Heartland Championship Wrestling. How long has it been in operation, and who all wrestles for the promotion?
We're going on our 4th year, and our main guys is Mike Slade. He's my champion, and he runs a lot with that. That'd be Team Canada, so then he has his other little Groonies with him. That's the only way he can keep the belt, of course, but...
Groonies?
Yeah, Groonies. That's what I call them, the Canadian Groonies, because HCW fans, and we all just don't like Team Canada or Slade. And then we have our tag champs, the team of the Billies, Backwood Billy and Farmer Billy. So
Farmer Billy Hill.
Yep. And then we also have our hardcore champ right now is running his Moondog Spike. So I mean that's
Moondog Spike's back here?
Yes, he's been running with me for a while. So that way I got a little flavor from the old WWE and the old WCW and the original ECW.
How long have you been a wrestling promoter, and how did you get into the business that you wanted to be a promoter?
Well, I started out with wrestling. I've been promoting wrestling for about 6 years, but I started out about 8 years ago with a guy that a lot of people know, and his name would be Burt Prentice with USA Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I brought him, and we run through Southern Illinois a lot, and I hooked up with him and started doing a lot of stuff for him, getting, towns, and of course I got Anna for him, and then some other towns and stuff, and I mean, that's how I got started. The main thing was really hooking in with Burt Prentice.
Who all makes up the HCW roster?
Let's see, we'd have, like I said, Moondog Spike, then we have Slade, and then we have Tony Flood, a.k.a. Kid Canada, and then we got Yield Sign Danny, the fans' #1 person here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got Soul Train, or Chocolate Thunder, whichever you want to prefer to call him. But
no, wait, Chocolate Thunder, Soul Train are two different people, or the same person?
No, same guy. Soul Train, Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, okay. Because I've been seeing Chocolate Thunder wrestle for AAPW, and then I had no idea who he was.
The promoter up there really don't care for the Soul Train part, so he makes him cut it out. That's just like he don't like him up there being called Yield Sign Danny. It's Danny something else, so...
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, but he said the Yield Sign character sucks.
Okay, so whenever I see Chocolate Thunder, I'll think Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Who are the highest profile guys to ever come out of HCW so far? Although we've only been in operation for 4 years, so...
Well, I really ain't got, nobody that's really did much, but I mean, when I worked with Burt Prentice, I mean, we've had some that go out from there to the big shows, so, I mean, Bully Douglas, I mean, he signed a WWE contract, dark matches, and then on the internet on Sunday Night Heat, he got that. Then
Big Bully Douglas.
Yeah,
not Big Bully Brusick.
No, Douglas, and which on there they called him something else I can't recall, but then we had the Naturals. They started out with USA and Burt, so I mean, and then Casey James, he was on WWE and he started out with Burt, so. I mean,
and it's apparently
gone.
Gone, yes, released.
Yep. So,
what sets you apart from the other promotions in Southern Illinois?
Well, my gig on that is, I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but I'll give somebody an opportunity that the other people won't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as some promoters call the rejects of pro wrestling, I will give them a chance here. I mean, and a lot of the rejects have become good wrestlers, and at one point they thought they were ejects, and they worked here a couple of years, and now they're working for the company that thought they were rejects and didn't want them in the beginning. So, but I mean,
You think they were complaining about their look, their training,
their training ability, and they just didn't care for them and all that. So, I mean, I give everybody a shot. I mean, I think everybody ought to have a shot, so.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
At one time, you attempted to become an AWA territory, but that didn't happen. How did that come about, and why did it not come to fruition?
I had a wrestler for me at the time, which is in Florida now, Tony Storm, which you know, said, hey, for $249, we can become AWA. I said, well, that's fine. And we got a money order and stuff. And Mr. Gagne was just not the kind of guy you really want to work with. So, I mean, we sent it, it got lost. Main thing was, I guess he was worried about the dollar, and it got lost, but he received it like a week later, and stuff, and just the words that he said over the phone and stuff, we just canceled that money order and got it back and stuff. I mean, because it was like I said, 4 or 5 days late, and he was throwing a fit. You didn't send it, you're lying to me, da-da-da, you know. And I said, well, forget it. And I mean, and it wasn't really going to help us any. After, you know, because I sat down and looked at it, the contract, I mean, more or less, it was, yeah, you'll be AWA, but to bring the guys in that he's got, you just get a percentage off. I mean, so.
Yeah, I was up in Bruce City like a few months ago, back in March. Del Gagne was there at that show, and this is the time where, like a few months after the tag champions at the time, they lost the belts to a team at BCW, and then their commissioner gave them back, but then the former champ said, we don't want them back because you're not covering our travel expenses, or not even 25% of them. And then there was a vacation of the heavyweight title, so there's problems going on with AWA. You've also been involved in some infamous interpromotional feuds. Do those, at the end of the day, help both companies grow? Do they hurt both of them, or do they end up helping one but not the other?
Well, our feud with FTW,
Full Throttle.
Yes. I think down on the lines of it kind of helped both of us, because when it was all over and said, after they thought that, because, I mean, when we get back to it, it used to be when Chris owned it, it was...
Chris Powell, when it was in Midwest Powerhouse
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, me and Chris become good friends and stuff, and using a lot of the guys, and it seemed that when Full Throttle took over, they didn't care too much for, well, Future and Rick Ruby. I'll name them.
Future's back over there.
Yeah, but I mean, they come down here, which you know, and Rick Ruby come down here, and Kurt Styles come down here. So they thought we were just raiding their yard and taking their guys, so their stars or whatever, and they come down to one of our shows.
Well, they don't have a very deep roster. They only have about a little more than
But like I was saying, they come down to Cobden and didn't notify that they were coming. They just come in, and the next thing I know, one of the guys, I don't remember his name, he announces for him sometimes and talks. He's a shorter guy with long hair.
The Chipster?
That would be him. And he decided to tell us what he thought, and the next thing I know, 3 of their guys jump in the ring and start whopping on our guys, and for some reason, Future and Ruby's in the ring, and they don't touch them, and they went on their way out. Tipster says, next time it could be you guys. He said, we just saved you this time. He said, now won't you come back to the real company? So a couple weeks later, we just jumped the ring and sparred on them. And then we ended up having a talk and stuff afterwards, and some more of their guys started coming down, and they started using some of our guys. So, and I think in the long run on that one, it probably helped both companies, because they started using guys from both places.
Now you're talking in kayfabe terms or shooting terms.
Well, actually, that was not, you know, the kayfabe thing, but the WCW thing, it was set up a little bit, but afterwards, after the show was done and said at Anna, it wasn't that, because he actually... WWCW from Cape Girardeau.
I was wanting to avoid that for a little bit, but
I'm just saying, at the end of that show, they actually attacked our guys, and I mean, and wouldn't let them go back like we were supposed to set up. So, I mean, that was really not good on their part, but and they had, it wouldn't have been for some of the guys that was actually there helping our guys, I don't know how messy that would have got.
Now he's going to say something.
Well, you can cash that out if you care.
Nah, we'll leave it in.
Because, I mean, being honest
rebuttal.
with you, he may not even know they were just keep shooting on my boys.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just straight up, because the three guys, the big guys, the Asylum was helping my boys, I'll be honest with you.
Psycho, Arnaz, and
all them,
whoever.
yes. They kept grabbing them, saying, get to the back, get to the back, get to the back.
Ah, okay.
It was the high rollers was the one that kept attacking on them.
Okay, we'll
I
get
mean,
to that
I'll
a
just
little bit later.
Straighten up on that.
After you have a show any particular week, and all the matches are in books, what's the biggest thing you feel you have to work on?
To make sure I have people in the seats and the flyers are staying up where they're supposed to be, and
Or show content?
for show content, just to make sure everything's done the way it should be done and family oriented, because I really push that I do not want nothing done in front of a child that shouldn't be done. I mean,
You mean like the Mephisto cutting a promo and then drunk guys jumping in the ring after him or something like that?
Yeah, we really didn't care for soap flying and dew-coin and drunks with knives jumping in the ring. That wasn't nice.
Well, we got Mephisto on the word association, so we'll touch upon him a little bit.
He's had quite a feeling of having people, because we had the military jump him in Sparta, so.
Oh, wow.
He called them the Salvation Army, wasn't it? Yeah, he called them the Salvation Army instead of Marines and Army men.
Well, the father of one of the referees at SLW actually got in a scuffle with Kurt Stiles, and then Mephisto wanted to beat on him a little bit, and that got broken up real quick. Not so many months ago, there's this brouhaha over a report that was posted on Brian Trammell's Wrestling Right Online about the condition of the HCW venue. Let's once and for all clear the air on that.
It's just a workshop by day and strip out stuff, and we clean it up, and what you see is what you get. The ring's here, I mean, we have chairs out, I mean, just have a good time. I mean, the HCW fans are good people, and they show up, and they don't care. I mean, we clean it and everything, it's got to look good, but, I mean, it's just the building, I mean.
The building is, the ceiling's high enough to house the ring. The ring looks okay to me, although may need a little bit retaping on the ropes, but
that's getting done, and I got the stuff coming in. We're putting new turnbuckles together,
the tarp's in good condition for the most part. Needs a little wipe down, but that's probably because we were walking around inside the ring before we started the broadcast, bringing in this furniture.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, my fans show up. I mean, I got my 20 fans that follow us about everywhere we go. So I mean, I got my HCW fan crew. So I mean.
Interesting road stories you've had, because you call me every so often, and then you have about a dozen of them to tell.
Well, I just talked to Bully last night, Douglas, the one I was referring to earlier. That Bert is actually having a show in Clear Springs, Illinois, which is...
Clear Springs?
Yeah, it's just right
up. Carrier Mills?
It's just right up from Carrier Mills.
Okay.
There's two little towns. It's right by Harrisburg, Illinois, to make it clear. And they're going to do a 2-day event for a festival outside. It's going to be free. And I'm going to go up and talk to him about signing him up for working for HCW for a year and stuff. And he was telling me that the last time he was with WWE on the road, he was with the group of the guys, and they stopped at a Subway in Iowa, and the giant Kali was with them, and the lady didn't understand what he was saying.
He was speaking Indian.
Yeah, and he said the next thing he knew, there was a big chop on a cash register and police cars everywhere, and they had to actually have...
What do you mean, a big chop? You mean Kali chop?
Yeah, he chopped
cash register?
And started screaming stuff at the people, and Bully said the next thing the employees started screaming, "We're being robbed."
Why didn't he chop the cash register?
I don't know. Bully said he just come down with that, and he said the cash register. He said he was just sitting there going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and he said him and at the time it was Eugene before he got.
Nick Dinsmore.
Yeah,
now.
before he's no longer in there. But they were trying to calm him down, and they ended up having to get, Vince actually ended up having to show up at this Subway to calm him down and to take care of it so he didn't get in trouble. But he said it was something else. And then
we don't know why Callie went berserk.
Because I don't really know why he went berserk, but I mean, I'm just going by what Bully said on the story. He said he was there, and he said
you're not a witness to it!
I was not in Iowa, no. But I mean, I'm just...
What about road stories that you've been a witness to, direct witness to?
Oh, man.
So you've been around the Little Egypt,
I can
guess.
also, I can be benefit on this one because I was at the Davy Center, and that's when the USAO days. Chase Stevens was wrestling that night, and he was actually wrestling against Big Bully that night for the USA heavyweight title. And Bully got there a little late, and Chase was in a bad mood anyway, and for some reason, because something happened in TNA that he didn't care for. But it ended up during the match, Bully dropped him and put the pin on him when he got up. He ran straight to the back and there's a just plastic covering thing, and the fans were sitting there, and you could hear Chase cussing Big Bully out. And the next thing I know, Bully just grabs him by his mouth and just slams him just to shut up. And I mean, and then the other guys just grabbed him, put him apart and stuff. And I mean, and then there's some other stuff, but I don't know.
I just know Jake Stevens has wrestled for WWE at the last set of tapings.
Yeah, down there at Nashville. That's a bunch of my buddies down there, Marion Ellis and them. They got free tickets to go to that show because Burt got them in on that.
I should have asked a minute ago, when is that show that Prentice is wrestling? Is that
October 10th. It's the 10th and 11th of October.
That's under the National Wrestling banner or the USA Championship?
No, Nashville.
Okay.
That's what he changed it to back in the day when I was with him. No, it was USA. So.
Okay, so yeah, I was trying to figure that one out.
Sorry about that.
Oh well.
Bert's got a lot of names.
Yep.
When you owe as much money as he does, so.
Well, he did that Christopher Love gimmick for the ladies' organization, LPWA, so many years ago.
Great character, too.
Yeah. Talked about Missouri and how the wrestling is regulated out there, and should wrestling be re-regulated anyway in Illinois?
I don't think so.
Have you ever run in Missouri?
No, too strict.
Too strict?
I'll be straight up, too strict, too many rules. I mean, I know all the stuff, like I said, because Chris Powell goes to each show now and make sure everything's what. But, I mean, I've been working with Chris, and he's trying to help me with stuff, because if everything goes down, I am going to try to get a Missouri license, because we want to start trying to run Cape Girardeau over there at the arena. But that's in the future here in a little bit, hopefully.
I'm surprised nobody's built an arena like the east side of the river of Cape Girardeau. There just isn't one there.
Oh, we're trying the East Cape right now because they've got a metal building over there. It's like a garage too, and that was a motorcycle shop. And the guy told him that's been talking to me about doing a wrestling show there for him. See how it goes over.
We'll see if anybody else tries to run out there. What promotions would you like to check out more of that you may not have had a chance to because you're running Heartland?
Would that be just indie leagues, or are you talking...
Indie leagues, any organization around in this area?
All around here. Let's see. I'd like to go up and check out Broadway. I've never actually in my life got to, and I've heard a lot about them.
I've yet to go there myself.
But I think with them getting 500 people in there constant, they got to be a hell of a show.
Any place in Southern Illinois, or Kentucky, or Tennessee, or Missouri?
Not really, I mean, because I've been to about all of them shows.
You've been out to all of them?
I've been to APWA. I've been to many RPW. We'll just leave it at that. But and I've been to Mr. WCWW or WCW, whatever he wants to be going by, over there in Cape. And I went to over Cape Lot and seen Gateway when they were going, which I thought was awesome,
Okay.
because I love Dingo.
Yeah, Dingo's getting places. Ring of Honor, and it's a current NWA Midwest Missouri champion. Who's your Southern Illinois Wrestler of the Year so far? And it could be either your own promotion or anywhere in Southern Illinois.
Out of all the wrestlers in Illinois, I will get a lot of grief for this, and you shut up. I would put that on Mike Slade.
Mike Slade.
Yes, I would.
I've never seen Mike Slade wrestle. Does he just wrestle for Heartland? Because I haven't seen him pop up on...
He's 100% Heartland. He's always been with me, trained with me, and he don't want to work nowhere but here. And if anything happens to the promotion with me, he'll probably be the one to take it over, because, I mean, we're real close and stuff.
Well, it kind of leads into my next question is, who do you think is ready to move to the next level from this area? You seem to think Mike Slade's the Wrestler of the Year. He seems like if he's the Wrestler of the Year, maybe he needs to move up a little bit.
I talked to him about that, but he's getting ready to have a baby and stuff, and he's just satisfied with where he's at right now. But
so he's basically the best wrestler outside of Illinois that nobody's ever heard of.
More or less.
So to speak.
That's what I'd say. Because Slade is a real good guy, and I mean, good in the ring, and he knows his stuff.
Is there anybody else?
In Heartland, yeah, I'd say Soul Train's getting close to being there, and Yield Sign Danny, I mean, I think he can make it anywhere he'd really want to go if they would use the character Yield Sign, because, I mean, he's got it boned down to where it's to a point that, you know, people know. Because that's just like you were talking about stories earlier. I was at West Frankfort one time. He pulls up to a stop sign, and I wave at him. He waves back, and this girl starts hollering, "I know you. You're Yield Sign Danny." I mean, you know, I said, that's like I told him. I said, see, I mean, that's where it'll lead you. That ought to be a proud moment for you. He says, it's kind of embarrassing because I just had a brand new girlfriend on the other side, and she's going, who's that?
Is there anybody that caught your eye at the other Southern Illinois promotions that...
Oh, yeah, AAPW's got two guys that's worked for me before and stuff that I think are the greatest thing ever, and that would be Axe Stevens and Homicidal Stephen Davis.
Oh, okay. Stephen Davis I've never seen Axe Stevens yet.
Axe Stevens is awesome. The Wilkesville Mafia.
Oh, okay. Is there any wrestler in Central, Southern Illinois, or Missouri that you'd like to bring in that you haven't had a chance to?
Yeah, there'd be Madman Pondo, of course. I mean, everybody would like to see Madman. As long as you don't bring in New Jack with him, because I don't think this building could support those two.
I haven't seen New Jack wrestle in this part of the country of late. I think there was a big debate about him being brought in for IWA Mid-South a few years ago, but Pondo ran in Carmi so many months ago under the IWA East Coast banner.
Yeah, and I don't know if Pondo made it over there to the Gigolo show over in White County that was close here or not.
No, I don't think he did.
They had a bunch of bigger names there. I wish I could have made it over there, but I just knew what was the deal there, and I mean, I didn't want to get involved in the middle of that just to see a wrestling show. Even though there was a few older guys there I'd have loved to have seen that I've never got to see, so.
Juggalo. There's been a bit of controversy about the Juggalo gathering this year, that behavior of patrons got extremely bad, and people were actually throwing firebombs in the ring during that Blade Mania event, from an eyewitness account. Is there a Southern Illinois dream match that you'd like to see that hasn't ever been held?
I'd like to see a wrestler that everybody knows now, but that would be but it used to his name Carnage. With his mask. I'd like to see him go back as Carnage and go against
well, Carnage is still active.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
without revealing somebody's secret identity, but you'd like to see Carnage against
everybody's favorite Tojo Yamamoto Jr. I'd like to see that match just to see how it would go over.
So that match has never been held. Interesting.
No, and it probably will never be held.
You never know. It could be someday. Well, I'm out of questions, so we're going to go to word association. Whatever comes to mind, just elaborate. WWE.
Triple H.
Triple H. TNA.
The best wrestling going right now.
Ring of Honor.
I haven't seen much of it, so I mean, you know, but I've heard, you know, good things about it. So I mean,
Well, they're coming to Collinsville on December the 5th, and I'm going to head up there for that, or head down for that.
I may try to make that myself, because I'm getting around now, because TNA's going to be right across the river here the 26th next month, so.
Cape Girardeau,
Yes,
yep.
Cape Girardeau.
And several of the St. Louis guys have been getting into Ring of Honor of late.
Well, that's good. I'd like to see the future get into some more, because I think he deserves a shot at a bigger show.
Now, you've had him as your, had him down here as Heartland heavyweight champ.
Yep, he's held the belt here twice, and one time he actually held it for 9 months.
JCW, and we just touched on that. What's up for Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
I just like the way they get the bigger names in.
And stuff. I mean, I wish that could be a promotion that could get the names like that and out there, but the alcohol and the drug part of it, I prefer if they could keep it. So.
Now, they did run in Springfield, and I was there for that, and they used some local guys out of Springfield, so
I mean,
show wasn't bad, but even Tornado, like, I got to witness him tear up his knee just topping the top rope.
But I like the organizations that come in. That's even WWE or TNA or anybody else that comes out of the state that'll come in and they'll use some of the local talent, let people actually see what they got in their state. I think that's real good.
LWA, Lethal Wrestling Alliance, which the future is their heavyweight champion right now.
Yeah, I be honest with you, I don't know much about them. If any.
Don't know much about them. Several of the guys that you've had down here,
Well, I know
Pierre, Yvonne, Gary J. You've had Dingo, haven't you?
I've never had Dingo. I'd love to have Dingo. To me, that's the greatest wrestler going today in the independent circuit.
NMWA, SICW, that's South Broadway.
Yeah, well, I don't know much, but what I've heard from them, and I think what I've heard from them, it would be a great company. I just wish I could pile 500 people into a show like they do.
Why do you think promotions in general have been having difficulty drawing? A lot of people want to blame MMA for it.
My opinion of it, and I mean, it's just my opinion, everybody's got them. I think it's because of the way the gas prices have shot up, the economy, the way, you know, people ain't getting jobs right now and stuff. I mean, I think it all whacks back on the dollar.
Well, it kind of seems to me that the factor is people won't pay $5 to watch an independent show, but they'll pay $25 to watch an MMA show.
Yeah, I mean, that's craziness there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd prefer to throw out the $5 because, I mean, that's what I am. $5, and if your kids are under 5, you get in free. So to try to help the family where they don't have to spend as much.
Yeah. AAPW, All American Pro Wrestling. They seem to be in the, I guess, the highest profile set of Southern Illinois right now.
Well, I
Seemingly.
yes, I would agree with that because he actually goes out and tries to bring bigger stars in, which we all know that. But I mean, you know, I try to run who I got and what I got to try to, you know, get more boys in for independent. I mean, I have Moondog, but I mean, as that promotion would say, it was leftovers, but I don't care. I mean.
Moondog Spike.
Yeah, Moondog Spike's what I'm talking about. I mean, Moondog is a well-known guy, and he wrestles good. And I mean, there ain't too many guys that can go around proud with a picture showing where Taz broke his leg at ECW. So,
wow.
But APW, I mean, they're good. I mean, I ain't gonna bash nothing from Southern Illinois that bad. But I mean, because I mean, he's got Homicidal Stephen Davis up there. He's got Carnage and all the rest of them. I mean,
Brandon Walker.
Brandon Walker, yeah, and then he also has Livewire McGuire.
Yep.
He's a real good little talent. He's worked here too.
NWC, and Bud Chaplin was the promoter of that organization. He passed away earlier this year, and NWC was retired.
Yeah, well, the ribbons are still left a little bit on the ring what we did for Bud, because I thought a lot of Bud. Bud helped me out a lot on insurance stuff for wrestling and everything, you know. And I think his wrestling was good, but I mean, he just got stuck sometimes with bad, stuff. Because I mean, some wrestlers, I guess, that just didn't care for the way it was run up there or whatever, run and say, all he tried to do was pay me $1 bill and a hot dog. Or, he don't pay. Bud, people were hollering, a lot about Bud paying and Bud this and Bud that. But when it come down to it for wrestling, Bud was a good man.
And he ran his promotion for close to 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a business in this business for 20 years, I think you're doing something right.
Yeah. And he used to promote further north than where he did, Central and Illinois and Chicago.
But I remember
recent years.
Back in 88 or 89 was the first time I met Bud. Or maybe, no, it was probably 80. Yeah, it was 88 because I was working on the interstate. And he come to Carbondale, and the Boys and Girls thing had a show, and they didn't promote it or nothing, and Bud was there, and they sold like 6 tickets. And Bud shook his head and stuff, and I talked to him, but he said, well, them 6 people paid, so they're going to get a show. And he put the same show on that he was going to put on if there had been 300 people there. So, I mean, I have all the respect in the world for Bud, because I know a couple of promoters, without mentioning names, would have just said, take the ring down, we're leaving. So, because I worked for him, so I know that's what he would have done.
Yeah. USCW, which appears to be at this time the successor to NWC.
Well,
that would be Brooklyn Bobby's promotion.
Yeah, Brooklyn, Bobby, and the gang. I mean, there's another good group, and I really want to say a thank you to them for doing what they did with Bud and that show they did to help pay his funeral, because, I mean, well, Bud didn't have no family, and then the guys picked up and took up for him and helped him pay for his funeral and everything, so I mean, that's a good thing for that company, and I think they'll work good. And I think the way I hear it, they're going to start running all the locations Bud did too, so.
And they've already kind of started. They're going to be running in Iola soon.
Yeah.